Hey there, everybody. Welcome to a new video. Coco Chanel is here with us to try to help us get us all ready for Animal Kingdom Season 5. It is coming up. It is coming up this Sunday, July 11th. And we're going to be talking about sort of the trailer that came out today. We're going to be talking about who we think is going to end up in charge of all of this, what's going to end up happening. There are spoilers ahead, so if you haven't seen Season 4, be warned. Go check it out. This is a really great show. It's one of our favorite summer shows.
I'm so excited. That's why we had to have our favorite animal, Coco Chanel, here to talk about Animal Kingdom. We're gonna...
She is part of the Cody pack.
Is she? Which one is she? Is she the
Pope?
She is. That actually kind of makes a little bit of sense now that I really think about it.
He's the wild card. She's the wild card.
Well, you know what? If you guys want to be a part of the Cody pack, or at least our Cody pack, why not hit that subscribe button? Because every Sunday we're going to be here talking about Animal Kingdom. We will have some other videos throughout the season as well, alongside all of our other really great stuff we are covering, which includes, of course, Big Brother, The Bachelorette. We'll have American Horror Story later this summer, and not that long from now, Power Book 3 Raising Kanan will also be underway.
I'm really excited for that show.
I'm really, really excited for that show, and I'm also excited for you guys to check us out over on Instagram, which is at Matt and Jess TV, if you want to see some fun stuff we're up to away from the channel, and Coco may make a few cameos over there as well.
Yeah, so every Sunday, be here with us. We will have a review up after the episode. All right, so let's start off with this trailer that came out today. The big theme in this seems to be who's in charge. And as I said, spoilers ahead.
That's the idea.
Okay, you've had time to click off now if you needed to click off. Smurf is dead. She
Yes.
died in the last season, and now it has left all the Cody boys alone and with no one really in charge. And it seems that the promo's really been pushing this, I'm in charge, no, I'm in charge. And so we thought that would be fun to sort of talk about who we think should be in charge.
This is going to be fun because I actually had to take a little bit of time to think about this, because it's like, if I'm running a normal business, mind you, I would probably not be saying anything that I'm about to say. But because this is a criminal empire, and the goal is to intimidate people, right?
Right.
If I'm wanting to intimidate people, I'm going to throw Pope out there, and he's just going to Pope it up all over the place and be crazy and be intimidating and threaten people. But really, this is like a multi-tiered structure here, because I want Pope to be sort of the figurehead out there, knocking together some skulls and causing some chaos. But you don't want to give Pope access to the books or the plans or anything else. You want Jay to be the puppeteer, and Jay, I think he's smart enough to sort of know, let's just let Pope be Pope on the outside, and I will sit back, I will plan everything, I am ruthless, I will do whatever it takes. Pope, you just go and Pope it up, and we will all be fine.
Pope is the most fascinating character on this show, hands down.
Yes.
One of the most fascinating characters in television history. I'm just saying it. I think that he is really interesting, this character. But being in charge of things, I don't know that I'd let Pope be in charge of anything. He frightens me, but maybe that's why he'd be a good leader.
Hey, he could scare up all the competition.
I think that the most obvious choice for this is Darren. I mean, he's the most level-headed. He sent Adrian away. He doesn't have sort of that distraction of love right now. And I know that that was hard for him, and he's going to have a little bit of a struggle getting past that. But maybe throwing himself into this business makes the most sense. He is the only one that sort of had another business away from this. He had his bar. He's trying to sort of not necessarily go straight and not be a criminal anymore, but he really wanted to have something that was just sort of business related. So if anyone is equipped to do this, it's Darren. The person that I would be the most worried about is actually Jay, and it's because he's been with the Cody family the least amount of time. The other boys grew up with Smurf, with her running this empire, with them being part of it for many more years than Jay. And Jay is very ambitious. said in this promo he wants to expand. They need to expand. And, you know, I think they're really more of sort of like in a Pope frame of mind, you know, where it's kind of like, we need to let people know we are still here.
Yeah.
Let's have a stepping stone right now before we expand.
Okay, see, I get where you're coming from with Darren, because it's like, if this was a normal operation, I would clearly want Darren to be in charge over any of these other people. Like,
if you don't want to go to jail, Darren needs to be in charge, because Craig is definitely sending everyone to jail with his nonsense.
yeah, Craig, there's no hope for Craig. And one of the things that I like to think about on this show sometimes, because like the majority of these characters are not likable, but I always think, who could I actually like sit down and have like a 10-minute conversation with and not be afraid to run away? It's probably Darren, because Jay would terrify me, Pope would punch me in the face, Craig is just too bro-y, and I don't think I could surf well enough for his specifications. But
Yep.
Darren has like a tiny bit of normalcy where I feel like if Darren was born into another family, maybe he wouldn't have turned out like this.
Yeah, it's possible. Okay, now we also need to talk about Pamela Johnson, because she is the person that Smurf left her whole empire to. So while we're here being like, which Cody boy should be in charge, if Pamela has this entire empire to her, then what role is she really going to be playing going forward? Is she actually going to be in charge?
She's got to at least be around, I think, a lot. And one of the struggles that Animal Kingdom has sometimes is that they'll bring in a character for a little while and then they'll just disappear, like when they brought in Dennis Leary and he was a big deal for like 8 episodes.
Yeah, and then we had Angela, and like, where is she? Not in the trailer.
Yeah, Emily Deschanel just like, all right, I'm good, I've done my arc, I'm leaving now.
Yeah.
But I think she has to have some sort of important role here. She can't be a pushover, and we gotta kind of understand more of how it came to be this way, that this character who, you know, on the surface doesn't matter all that much in the present day is like suddenly the queen pin of this entire operation of, really, I think a big part of her job is just gonna be wrangling these guys to keep them from all killing each other.
Yeah, and I mean, they kind of need somebody that's not part of the family to be a bit of a mediator, if that's kind of the role that was going to play, because Smurf was part of the family and she also had an agenda, and you know, it might help to have somebody that's not part of the family.
I think if nothing else, she doesn't know any of these guys in at least the way that she would favor one of them immensely over all of the others. Mm-hmm. But I kind of, if she's going to stay in power, I kind of want to see some of them try to like butter her up a little bit to get on her good side. Like, what does that look like if you're Pope and you want to try to convince Pamela?
Oh, he's just going to intimidate her or try.
Yeah, he's going to like try, and I feel like it'll blow up in his face. Craig, it will blow up in his face for sure.
No way. Craig is a charmer. He is absolutely the only one that's going to be able to butter her up.
See, I think he will try, and then I don't know. Like, maybe somebody else will come in and be like, no, Craig, this is who you really are.
Oh,
Craig.
Okay,
the thing about Craig is, I'm fascinated by Craig, but at the same time, I have no touchstones of relatability for Craig whatsoever.
Same.
I can't relate to surfing. I'm not a dad. I can't relate to this new dad storyline for him. He is just like the big, hunky Cody boy who is like the muscle in a lot of these different jobs they have.
Okay, so the other thing we're going to be seeing that we saw in this promo and we're going to be seeing are a lot of flashbacks. We saw young Smurf, we saw young Pope sitting in front of the TV. It's going to be really fascinating to see what Pope was like as a little kid. Like he said, you know, he spent a lot of time in front of the TV, and we saw young Pope in front of the TV. So why are we getting these flashbacks?
I think, first of all, it should surprise no one that maybe young Pope's greatest influence were like TV characters, and you know that Smurf was probably not like, oh, young Pope, you can't watch these rated R movies, so he's probably watched like a lot of like really bad R-rated crime thrillers when he was like 5.
Yeah, it was surprising when he said, oh, I watched a lot of nature shows. I was like, you did? What is happening along the way here that went from that to this?
He probably watched the R-rated nature shows where they're like animals killing each other or something. I don't know.
I figured that we're getting a lot more sort of backstory at this point because we have lost Smurf and we have lost really the only other major female character on this show, and now it's just the guys on the show, that maybe they wanted to find a way to still keep Smurf sort of part of this story. I mean, she's also a really fascinating character of sort of, where did she come from? How did all these guys end up into this spot?
Here's what I would tell the Animal Kingdom producers, and this is why I'm still so on the fence with all of this. If you wanted to tell the story of Smurf, why write out Ellen Barkin? Like, why not just keep the adult Smurf alive? And, like, I don't have anything against the young Smurf storyline. There were some good ones that happened last season, but there were a couple of times where I was just like, all right, where are we getting back to the action here? I want to see what's going on in the present again. And I felt like it went on a little bit too long.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what the show is going to look like without Smurf there. It's not often that you have a show that's this many seasons in where they're just going to be like, oh, one of our leading people, they be dead now. They're not going to be back. They're not coming back to the show. And it's going to be a very sort of different feel to it. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I really liked Smurf, and I wish she was still there. But seeing the Cody boys now in this position where it's like, oh, she's no longer around. And they were kind of trying to do their own thing here and there. And some of it went okay, and some of it did not go okay. But now that there's no Smurf to fall back on if they really needed to, what does that look like? How much scrambling is going to be happening? Who is going to step up?
I think that will be a part of the fun, is sort of seeing everybody just running around not knowing what to do at all times. Like, I want some of that, and this is the most generic expectation of all time on my end, but I just want more heists. Like, we don't have many heist shows on TV. It has been 2 years since this show was on the air.
Yeah, White Collar's gone. There's not a lot of, really good heist shows. We get a little bit of that with Blacklist here and there, but this show is really good for that.
Yeah, so just give me 4 or 5 really good action sequences this season.
And it looks like from the promo we've got some. They were throwing a safe out the window.
Yes, I want safes thrown out the window. I want weird masks. I want a plan to go horribly awry. Somebody's leg is almost cut off in an ambulance as they're driving away or something. That is what Animal Kingdom is to me.
Yeah.
But we want to know from you guys, obviously. What is Animal Kingdom to you? What do you think is going to happen in Season 5? And who do you want to see running the show? Let us know in the comments. Thank you guys. Remember, every Sunday we will be back talking about the show. We'll have some other stuff along the way as well.
Yeah, so hit that subscribe button. Don't miss out. We are here all summer for Animal Kingdom and all the other shows that Matt mentioned.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. We'll see you here next time.